I'm still kind of working out like the headset thing, so I might have some audio issues that I need to work through, but it should be okay. So let's see. Um, oh, this is the YouTube playlist from 2020. There's a bunch of stuff in here. You could take a look if you're interested in it, but you don't need to watch any of that stuff. I'll replace this with our own playlist for this semester soon. So let's go to the Blackboard. Okay, so for Blackboard, the main thing that we're going to use Blackboard for is just assignments. There's no real like course content on here. So if you're looking at Blackboard, let me go into student view. So the first thing you'll see is the announcement that I sent out last night, and that has links to our Discord server. It also has links to our Open Lab site. We'll set that up in a second. And so yeah, that's pretty much all that's there. If you go to course information, there's links to everything here as well, just so if you ever forget where something is or need a link, that's where you can find it. So it's just in the Blackboard under course information. You should not really need that often, but I know a lot of people go through Blackboard to get to the class, so those are there. So there's a link to the course site. This is where I host like the schedule. This is where I host all the lecture notes. So when I'm doing a lecture, I'll kind of be looking at notes here. If you look at the schedule here, actually, let's come back to this. Let's finish with Blackboard first. There's also a link directly to the schedule, but this is the same thing, same site. And this is highly subject to change. So this class probably will not look a lot like what's on here right now. But you can see some stuff on there. There's a Discord. Here's the Open Lab. We'll go over this in a minute. There's a link to a syllabus. This is just something that we have to have. I don't really put any specific information on here, so there's not really anything useful on there. And then this is a link to the software that we're going to be using, which is this website called Glitch. As I mentioned, Glitch is similar to the P5 editor site, but it has a lot more functionality. So that's what we're going to be using this semester as our kind of like web editor. And if you've used P5 before, you know that one of the advantages is that you don't really need to save your files anywhere, so you really don't have to worry about file management if you're using P5 or another online editor. And that is the case with this course as well. Everything should basically be online, so you shouldn't really need to worry about like saving your files. Maybe if you're using some media or something like that, if you're creating media, you'll have to save that somewhere. But as far as the projects go, they're all going to be on that website, so you'll be able to access them on any computer that you might be using, either on campus or at home or whatever. So we won't really worry a whole lot about that kind of file management stuff that we need to worry about in some courses. Okay, so I'll put the Open Lab link here, and then we'll come back here in a second. Okay, so assignments. So as I mentioned, a lot of these things are going to change. These are the assignments that we did in spring 2020, and we'll take a look at what these look like because we may decide to do them or we may decide to do something else. But you can see some of the stuff we covered. So we started by doing kind of like an interactive story. And in order to set that up, we started by creating characters. We created a setting, and then we created like a plot where we could kind of like move between the different scenes. Then we did some like animation stuff and created like an interface. I don't really know exactly what these look like, but we'll take a look at them in a second. And then we spent a lot of time on 3D graphics. That was actually a lot of fun that semester. So that's something that we could do again this semester is just working with 3D graphics. So there's a little bit of coding, but there's also a little bit of just like putting together a 3D scene involved. We did some stuff with sound, which we could do more of this semester, and then a final project. So yeah, we'll usually have like a series of assignments that are related to like a couple different topics, and then we'll usually cover like 3 topics or so, depending on what people are interested in, and then move to kind of like a final project stage where you'll kind of work on something that you want to make on your own that may or may not be related to the projects that we've already covered. So there's a lot of flexibility there. I think for some students, like flexibility can be kind of like more intimidating rather than exciting. But I hope that for this class, it'll be exciting, that you can kind of create whatever you want. But I'll also have a lot of like guidelines, and if you have questions about what you want to, if you know what to work on, we can kind of talk through what to work on. So for the assignments, one thing, if you click on an assignment, you'll see the due date. These are going to change because everything is going to change. I just put in some like placeholders. We don't even have class on this day, so this is obviously needs to change, but we'll update that when we get a chance. But the main thing to look at here is the rubric. So it'll be different for different assignments, but there's always going to be a rubric. And if you click on this, I'm going to click to make it open over here. The rubrics for this course will always have like this kind of like basic format where there's a few things that you need to do. Some of them are more abstract, some of them are more simple. And then there's a description of what's required and how much it's worth for the assignment. And so for you guys who have taken a class with me before, you already know this, but for people who have not, you can submit your assignment as many times as you want to. So if you turn in an assignment and I grade it and it's like you get a 50 or a 60 or an 80, whatever it is, I'll usually tell you what you missed. And if you want to redo it, you can always redo the parts that you missed and resubmit the assignment for credit. So you can submit the assignment as many times as you need to. You don't have to, obviously, if you're just like, whatever, I'll just take the grade. I don't care. That's fine. That's up to you. But if you want to get a higher grade, you can always resubmit the assignment. I definitely like want you guys to do well and want to give you as much encouragement to finish your assignments as possible. So I want to make it very flexible. So yeah, you can always resubmit assignments if you need to, and if you don't, if you submit an assignment and you get a 50 and you read the instructions and you still don't understand why, we can just let me know. We can talk about it and figure out how to what's missing. So yeah, that's the rubrics. These will be different for different assignments, but they'll always look pretty much the same. Like you have to kind of have the right JavaScript. You have to have a website that works, HTML, CSS. This is going to be different because we're going to be using some different technologies, but this is more or less what it'll look like. Um, so yeah, those are the assignments. Let's see. There's also this like grade book here. I just put the link here so it's easier to access, but you'll see all your assignments here and the due dates. And then the rest of these links are just like default BMCC links for stuff like tutoring, online learning orientation. I don't think most of that stuff will really be super relevant to this class, but those links are there if you need them. So yeah, that is the Blackboard. So now we're going to look at a few other things, starting with, let's see, let's look at the course site. Okay. So this is the course site. This is where all the content for the site is. Sorry, this is a lot of information, but this is just kind of how the first day goes. The main thing on here is the schedule. This is going to update a lot, so we'll probably move this stuff around depending on what you guys want to work on, but it'll look something like this. And usually for this class, the schedule kind of like gets built throughout the semester. What you see here is really just kind of like what's left over from the last time I taught it. Syllabus, again, nothing really useful on here. I haven't even updated this link, but I will do that. Um, One thing that is useful is there's a link to previous student work. So you can see projects that students have created in the past. We can take a look at a couple of those right now. Um, this is sort of like an interactive story where you can change this animation using this little slider or like hovering over this little character. It's kind of funny. Um, this is kind of like related to the same story. It's like a 3D design of this like donut character. I think it used to have an animation as well, but maybe I don't know how to activate it. Um, let's see. This is another interactive story using the keyboard uh, that just has these like two alien characters and kind of goes through these different settings. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, this is like a kind of like pattern designer. Uh, this is something I actually started doing in MMP 210, so you guys might have done something similar like this already in MMP 210, but you can kind of get these different designs using the sliders. Let's see. I think this is like a game that a student created. Oh, I don't know the controls. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe it doesn't have a laser or anything. Let's see. I guess that's it. I just have to get over here. So yeah, some simple game. We've made some simple games like that in the past. What is this one? Oh, this one's gone. I'll have to replace that link. Let's see. I'm trying to remember these. It's been a while since I looked at some of these. Oh, this is another asteroids game that was pretty. The students spent a lot of time on this. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That student put a lot of work into that game. It's kind of just like a 2D asteroids game. I think it was using P5 for that. Um, yeah, I think there was a lot of asteroid games that semester. Oh, this one's missing too. I'll have to find those. This one is just like a simple interactive story. I don't even know if this is JavaScript. It could probably just be HTML. But it's pretty nice. I like this project, although this image is gone now. Oh, this was a cool one that a student did a while ago using the Pokemon API, where you can essentially just like get data for different Pokemon. I'm just clicking the random button, but you can search for specific ones. And yeah, this is just like tapping into a data API. This is like a little bit more complex programming wise, but there's a lot of different like cool APIs that you can use. Used to do a lot of those in MP310. This is an 8-ball game. You can like type in a question. Um, am I gonna learn JavaScript? Let's see. Cannot predict now. I am a pickle. Oh, I lost it. Anyway, just a magic 8-ball game with some media and sound. Um, let's see. What was another Pokemon one? Oh yeah, this is a kind of cool one where you like reveal this Pokemon image by like kind of like rubbing over it, and it kind of like puts like makes what? Is that the name of the? Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think it uses the same API and it loads a different Pokemon each time. And as you mouse over it, although it looks like it has some like glitch now where it's like, yeah, you can see it, the actual image. So I'll have to fix that. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Let's see, some more games. Oh, this is very loud. Let me turn this down a bit. Oh, whoops. Okay, so you're like a pencil and you can shoot the math signs. I guess this is just asteroids with different images, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, so that's like some stuff we've done in the past, and those are all kind of like different programming multimedia projects. We can do similar stuff like that, or we can do different stuff. There's a bunch of old class examples, so you'll kind of see all the stuff that we use to create these different things. And this is just like my class demos, essentially. You can look through these if you're curious, and you can kind of see how the code works. So like if we wanted to look at like that 3D thing, if I hit Command Option U to view source, You can see the source for these. So this is a P5 thing, and you can see the sketch here. And it's pretty simple actually, not crazy complicated. Um, and then I think there was one we did. Oh, I guess this is also P5. I thought we did one with 3JS. Maybe I need to update this. Maybe I didn't add the most recent examples. I'll have to look for that. Anyway, so those are my class examples. What's up? Yeah, that's an option. So we'll kind of go over a few different things that we could learn in a second and maybe decide what we want to do. We don't necessarily have to do it today, but we could get started with something. Um, so let's see. Oh, this public pad I don't use anymore, so we don't need to look at that. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, Chrome is really the only software you need for this because we're going to be using the glitch editor, which we'll go over in a second, but that's pretty much everything that is on here. The schedule is what we'll mainly be using here, and we'll kind of update that as we decide what we're going to work on. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is set up our Open Lab. This is pretty easy. We can do this as a group right now. And so let's just do this all together. So if you're not on a computer for whatever reason, if you're on your phone or something like that, you can just watch and do this later. But if you're on your computer, let's go ahead and get this set up. So I'll go over the basic steps for this. It's pretty simple, and I think a lot of you guys have already done this in other classes if you've ever used the Open Lab before. But let's just get set up so that we can use the Open Lab. So um, in this info and links, if you click on this join Open Lab link, you will see the Open Lab page for this course. And I'll also copy that and put it into the chat here. And so this is not the actual site. This is like the page on the Open Lab where you can join the course. If you don't have an Open Lab like profile at all, let me log out. And you go here. Let's see, what is it going to look like? So you're not going to see like any buttons or anything if you're not logged in. So if you have an Open Lab profile, you can just click login. And you'll have to go through this like little BMCC thing. This is your student email and password. And then once you're logged in, the button right here, for me, it says clone the course because I'm a faculty, but you'll see a button that says join the course. And you just need to click on that button, and that's kind of it for this step. If you have never used the Open Lab before, you are going to need to create an account. So instead of the login button, you'll click the sign up button. And that may take like a minute or so. It shouldn't be too hard, but you'll have to go through those steps. There is like a little tutorial here for creating an account. So I'll put a link to this as well. And yeah, so you can just go through and create your account that way. It is pretty easy. You just need to know your email and password. Sometimes people forget that, so you may need to like reset it or whatever, but it should be okay. Um, and then once you're all logged in, you probably will not be on this page anymore because it's not going to remember that that's where you were. So just go back to the original link that says groups in it, and that'll take you to the page. And yeah, you can just join the course. I can see 3 people have already joined, so that's great. We're doing well. So let's just take a minute and make sure everybody can join the course. If you need help, you can ask me or you can stream your screen and get on there. I'm just going to put it in a little thing in the chat and say, have joined the Open Lab. And I'm going to react to this with a thumbs up. And so when you are done joining the Open Lab, just click on that thumbs up in the message in the voice channel. And once everybody is done with that, we'll move on to the next step. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll just take a couple minutes to do that. Reminder. So in case you are not familiar with what I'm talking about with the messages, so while we're in class, so the MMP 310 channel is going to be for communication outside of class. But while we're in class, remember that you can use the chat that's part of the voice channel. So to get there, there's like a little message box that's on the top right hand of the voice channel if you're looking at the grid with all the boxes and the videos. And you can open up the message and then you'll see the chat there. So that's what we'll use while we're in class so that we don't have to switch back and forth between our the two channels. Okay, so oh yeah, I think it's a new feature. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's new and I think it's ooh, sorry, it's gonna be very helpful for class. Okay, so we've got most people. We can keep going. If you do have any questions or need help joining the Open Lab later, we should have some time before we leave to go over questions. Okay. So let me go back to uh, my browser. Okay. All right. So if you click that button, you will be a member in the class, and being a member in the class means that you can contribute to the class blog. So once you've done that, you really don't actually need to come to this site, this page again. You can go to visit the course site, and you'll come to the course site, and you can see um, some of you have already been added, although this looks like my MMP 210 class. Huh, that's a little weird. Maybe, oh shoot, did I put the wrong link? No, that doesn't make sense because I just came from, uh-oh, I may have put the wrong link in my 210 class. One of the problems I have with the classes I teach is that I teach two classes that are almost exactly the same names. No, okay, so they're there too. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, I have one 210 and one 310 class and they have the same name, so it's like I always get them confused. Um, okay, let me see if I reset the author widget. Maybe it'll fix this. Okay. Update. Visit site. There we go. Okay. That looks correct. Okay, so you'll see yourself as an author on this page. If you want to update your author image, you can go to My Profile and click on My Profile. This will take you back to the Open Lab. You know, I have this like avatar. You can upload an avatar image if you want to. You can change other components. You can add a website, stuff like that. You don't really need to do that, but if you want to, you can. And the nice thing about that is when you have that author, if you click on your name, there's no posts yet, but you'll see all the posts that you wrote. So even though the site is shared by everybody, you'll be able to look at posts for all of your own posts collected in one place. Um, and we can see what this will end up looking like. I'll just show you guys real quick. I haven't taught MMP 310 on the Open Lab before, but I'll show you guys what the MMP 210 class from last semester looked like. And a couple of you guys were in that class, so this should look familiar to you. So if we go to MMP 210 slash spring 22, nope, spring 2022. Oh, okay, I'm in the wrong place. Let's go to the course site. There we go. So obviously you can see I use the exact same template and it's set up the same way. And you can see, you know, if we want to look at all the posts by one of the authors, like if we want to look at Ruben's posts, we can see all of his posts from the class. And, you know, we can see everything that he worked on. We can also look at specific assignments, like if we want to see every uh, logo slash meme, we can click on the assignment and see all of the posts that are categorized under that assignment. So that's essentially what the Open Lab is for you guys to post your own work. Um, let's see. So on our page, we don't have any posts yet because we haven't had any assignments yet, but this is where you guys will post stuff. And once I actually like start doing some projects, I'll do more examples of what that process will look like. But essentially, you just go to the dashboard and you'll see, I obviously am the admin, so I'll see everything, but you will only see the stuff that you've created. It seems like it's kind of slow. The Open Lab tends to be slow sometimes. Let's see if we can open the dashboard over there. So all of those posts will go under this posts link. Oh boy, let's see if there's an error. No. Okay. Um, Okay, that's a little bit slow, but so there's also some links here in this like upper menu. There's a link to the class site, which we already looked at, and the schedule. This will go to the class recordings YouTube page. This again is the old playlist from the last time I taught the class, but I'll replace that link with a new one. Some class examples. This goes to the same page that we looked at before, and a link to our Discord. And then this has some resources for documentation. So we don't really need to get into this today, but in the future, we're going to be documenting our projects using images or videos or other things like that. And so there's some videos there that go over how to do documentation on Mac and Windows as well. So that may be useful for when we get into some documentation. It's really going slow. But yeah, we'll come back to this in a second. And if you go in the info channel on the Discord, there's links to all of this stuff. So that's another place that you can kind of find these links if you're looking for them. Okay, let's see. Course information. So we joined the Open Lab, and okay, so the last thing that we want to do today is set up glitch, and then we'll maybe um, talk about what projects we want to do. So this is still being really slow. I'm just going to close these out and see if it's still slow. Yes. Okay, we'll come back to this. Okay, so this is the last thing we need to do today is sign up for Glitch. And this is, as I mentioned a couple times, this is just like P5. Wow, my whole internet is just not working. Okay, there we go. This is just like P5 editor if you've used that in MMP 210 or another class. The only difference here is that you can do a lot more different types of projects. It's not like specific to the P5 library. It's just a general web development site. There's a lot of different ones. I tested out a bunch of different ones because the last time I taught this class, we used all operating system based files and stuff like that. And now I want to do everything in the cloud. So I haven't actually used this specific service in class before, but I tested a bunch of them. There's a lot of different ones, Replit, what's the one, CodePen. There's a lot, JS Lint, all these different things, or not JS Lint. What is that one called? Anyway, there's a whole bunch of different websites that do the same thing. So they all have different features. I thought this one was kind of like the best for what we're specifically going to be working on in this class because we're going to be doing JavaScript. It has the ability to do a backend if we want to do Node or something like that. And we can, host it on there. We can publish things. So it has all the functionality that I think we will need. Um, you know, there's lots of different services that do the same type of thing. So this isn't necessarily like the only one that you should ever use, but I think it'll be good for what we're doing in class. So that is the last kind of like setup thing that we need to do is just create a glitch account. So I'm logged in, but let me log out and you'll see what it looks like. And I wish my internet wasn't being so slow. Okay, so yeah, this is what it looks like if you don't have an account. So if you don't have an account, click on sign up, and there's a couple different ways that you can do it. One is you can use a GitHub account. If you already have it, you can just connect it, and then you can sign in through your GitHub account. You can also use a Google account. So if you're already signed into Google and you click on that, it'll just use your Google authentication. So that's very easy. You can also just do a regular old email link. So you can say, email me a link, and you'll get a link and you can sign in that way. Once you create an account, I'm going to email myself a link. I'm just going to use my BMCC. Whoops. And you have to click I'm not a robot and send a code. And this will go to my email. Hopefully, let's see. Hopefully it'll go fast enough. But anyway, once you sign in, you'll see some other options. You can add a profile image again if you want to. Um, and you can, look at the different types of projects that you can create. Um, okay, everything is being slow right now, so we'll come back to this later. So one of the cool things about Glitch is it's really geared towards like hacking. So it's like geared towards like creating projects very quickly and like doing specific different things. So one of the things that it does is every project that you create has a remix button. And so if you click on the remix button, it's a little bit like making a duplicate of something in P5, which is something that you may have done in MMP 210. You can make a copy of somebody else's project and add your own stuff to it. So if I make a demo, you can make a copy of that demo under your own account and then add to it. So that'll be really useful for doing stuff in class, but it's also cool if you find a project that you really like that has some cool functionality and you don't want to recode it from scratch, you can just click on the remix button and then start from there. Um, that is a really useful aspect of it. There's a lot of cool projects that have been made in Glitch. If you go to the Discover page, we can kind of see different types of things that are made. There's some basic templates. The basic website is the one that we'll probably use to get started. There's also a full stack template using Node, which we'll maybe use if we do a Node project. There's a couple other things we probably won't use. This is a new one, Glitch in Bio. You can make a website that's like a link tree essentially. I'm sure you've seen those on social media before, where you have like links to all of your different things in your Instagram link or something like that. So you can make one of those here. You can import projects from GitHub. So if you have a project that you've started on GitHub, you can just import the code directly into your Glitch project, and then you can push and pull from GitHub. You guys probably haven't used GitHub because we don't teach that as much as we used to. But if you have, you can use it. And let's see, we can see some projects that have been created in Glitch. So this is most viral on Glitch 2021. So let's take a look at this UK food. And slow, of course. Uh, let's see if there's errors. Yeah, it didn't load something. Okay, let's try loading again. Okay, here we go. I still haven't gotten my login. So one thing that you don't see right now, because I'm not logged in, is there's usually like a remix button here. So if I like a project, I can remix it. But I still haven't, oh, there's my login code. Okay, let's log into Glitch. Okay, so now I'm logged in. Okay, now if I refresh this, okay. So there's that remix button. So this is a specialty British food store, and if you click on view the source, it'll show you what the project looks like. So you can see here, there's like this script. It's pretty simple actually. There's some HTML, so we can see all the code that made this. There's a CSS, there's some more CSS. So this is actually a pretty simple project. And then here there's like a little glitch link here. And so what we can do is we can remix it, we can view the source, we can embed it, or we can visit the full screen site. Okay, so this is a site. Oh, I guess this is like a funny site that like makes up fake British food. So a bingy crumpet, curried and roast slices of pea. So I think this is just like a nonsense text generator for British food. Bing snort, chopped cod in a horseradish sauce. That's pretty good. Buttered Jimmer, bean on lamb pudding. Okay, so it's a pretty simple project. It's just kind of a funny, goofy website. But if you wanted to make something like this, the cool thing about this project is I could click remix, I could bring it into my own account, I could swap out the images, add in my own like jokes and text and stuff like that. And I can also just like see how was this created. Like, maybe I don't want to make the same thing, but I'm just curious, like, how did they do it? And so let's see, there's like a JS file called gen utilities. There's a few functions in here that just kind of generate random stuff. This is a thing that creates an image. This is a thing, oh, this is just like a big list of different food names. And so when you do different stuff, you get different stuff out of it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There's a bit of code in here, but it's not too crazy. So you can see how something works, which is pretty cool. Let's look at one more project and then we'll uh, keep going. Okay. This is called This Olesea does not exist. Oh, okay. So I bet this is going to be an AI image thing. Have you guys been looking at like OpenAI and Midjourney and all that stuff, the image generators? Um, oh, yeah, they're pretty cool. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I got a Dolly account and made a bunch of stuff on there. It was pretty fun. I joined the Midjourney Discord for a while, but it was like kind of too chaotic, so I left. I don't think I have it anymore, but I think it's, you can go back on there if you want. But yeah, I think this is going to be an image generator. So let's see. Let's go to visit GAN generated photos of Olesea, project by Olesea. If this Olesea doesn't exist, which one does? To make this, I've trained a StyleGAN2 ADA model on 2,445 real photos of me. So it's kind of funny. It's just like a selfie generator, but it's pretty much just the same person. That's kind of interesting. It's more of like, yeah, it's kind of funny because it always looks pretty much the same, but there are some differences. So it's kind of a joke project. It's kind of funny. Um, okay. All right. So that's cool. We can see some of the stuff that has been made in this. Let's look at one more. Let's look at Music Visualizer. Let's see. Try it again. Okay. This is like the loading page for Glitch, which has its own like drawing thing. Okay, this looks cool. So, oh, I have to get a file. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I actually do have some. This happened to just open to something that has music that I've created on it. So let's just give it a try. Let's try Tom's theme. So that's pretty cool. I guess there's not much. It's just kind of a visualizer. I can't really change anything visually. That's pretty cool though. It looks nice. All right, so let's make a glitch account. So yeah, all you have to do is sign in as I already demonstrated. Is everybody able to do that? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I don't think we need to do another poll. It doesn't take that long. So if you need help signing in with Glitch, stick around. But I think you guys can handle it.